All right, man. So Sheeraz, knocking out Berlanga. I'll talk about the hand wraps. All right. Sheeraz started knocking out Berlanga. It's got people questioning Canelo going into the Crawford fight. If Canelo still got it, do he still got power? And one thing about it is when power started to go, that means you really is old. Because they say the last thing to go is power. So when power started to, you don't punch hard no more, that means you really is getting old. So there might be something to be said about Sheeraz knocking out Berlanga so easily and Canelo did. Maybe it's two things. Maybe they had an unwritten rule that, Canelo wasn't going to knock out Berlanga. But I just don't really see that in the contract with a Mexican versus Puerto Rican. So, you could say the Berlanga fight, and even in the Caleb Plant fight, Caleb Plant he don't have no conditioning. He don't have no stamina. Yeah, he don't have any stamina. So, but then people could say he broke Billy Joe's eye socket. But now, he fight Munguia, and Bruno Mars knock out Munguia. He fight Berlanga, then after he fight Berlanga, and then Sheeraz don't have a problem knocking him out. So, you all know Canelo had knee issues throughout his career, right, the latter half of his career. He did drop Jermell Charlo, but he couldn't finish the job. So, you had the sparring partner come out and say that, Canelo is lazy. He quitting sparring. So, in my humble opinion, there might be something to be said about this. There might be something to be said about Canelo really being old and not having the power that he used to have, and being lazy. And seeing what Sheeraz did with ease, and I've never really seen. Well, I only seen Sheeraz fight once, and I didn't see him with this type of punching power versus Carlos Adames. I didn't see the snapping of punches that he had versus Carlos Adames like that. I didn't see it. So, to have the power that he had versus Berlanga, now you got people bringing up the hand wrap situation. Have to do on Instagram saying was something fishy about his hand wraps. Remember people brought it up about Sebastian Fondor as well too. So, I'm not familiar with his game, so I can't say. But what I seen in the Adames fight, he wasn't punching like that. But then again, he's 6'3", fighting at 160 pounds. You give him 8 pounds, that make a fighter more dynamic, more explosive, more lively. He not starving himself. So this may be, a Sheeraz who got more juice in his legs. No pun intended. He may have more juice in his legs for this fight. With the extra 8 pounds, that's a lot of weight. So I don't read much into the hand wrap situation. Berlanga team should have did their job and watched him wrap his hands the right way if that's the case. But it's something to be said about Canelo Alvarez. It really is. It's something to be said about Canelo that these guys are coming behind him who are not known, especially Bruno Mars, who's not known to be a ferocious puncher. And they getting these guys up out of here. So Canelo probably ain't the fighter that he used to be. And we all know that. Like when you got 70-some fights or you're dealing with a knee issue, he said he had wrist issues, it's become a part of the game. But does that mean that he still can't knock out Bud? No. Still a big weight jump. He's still a naturally heavy-handed guy at the weight. One thing that tell me is his legs ain't what they used to be. And his legs was never good as far as foot movement. And that's okay. Joe Louis still is considered one of the greatest heavyweight champions of the world. He ain't got great feet. But Mama Lee, you flat footed. You flat footed like Joe Louis. You know? So that don't make you or break you as a fighter. You know? It don't. But when you ain't striking the way you was striking, it kind of like how he was like dragging. He was a dragon, and he couldn't keep up with not Zapata, but what's that man's name? William Skull. He couldn't keep up with him. Like he was like dragging his legs. Yeah, his legs starting to go, and that's natural, especially when you dealing with a knee issue. So yeah, you dealing with a chronic knee issue. Yeah, them legs, them legs ain't what they used to be. So yeah. So that's a natural question that's gonna come on. Like, damn, Sheeraz did that with ease, and Canelo was hitting him and couldn't pin him down, and that had Berlanga feeling like he had an iron chin. So when that power started to fade, that lets you know them legs starting to go. So now a lot of times when you start to kind of when the power started fading, that really lets you know it's over with. It's almost time to retire, if not time to retire. So at that point, now you got to start beating guys. You got to start beating guys with your leg, with your mind. When you get older, you got to start outwitting guys. But it's still pretty much a young man's sport. It's only so much you can beat guys with mind. Sometimes the speed, the power, the strength of the young fighters is just too much. But then he fighting a guy that's older than him. But I think Bud has had almost half the rounds fought as Canelo Alvarez. Side note, Canelo been a pro since he was like 15 or 16 years old. But Bud fought half the rounds. So most people feel like Bud is a preserve 37 years old. Bud is, you don't catch him too much out of shape. You don't catch him out of shape. He's a reserve 37 years old. Stay in the gym and what I'm saying, all that type of stuff. So but yeah, out here investigating this shit. But yeah, he's a reserve 37 years old. So yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's at the end of the day, it is what it is. He just he got to outwill guys and outthink guys and outfight guys. But I'm thinking it's in a decline there. But after the Cotto fight, people thought Floyd Mayweather declined, and then he came out. They thought his legs was gone. He came out and had a great performance versus Cotto. Versus Canelo. So I ain't always the truth or whatever. But honestly, yeah, it raises questions about the hand wraps. What I just with a little bit I seen, I ain't concerned about it. I don't think it's a thing. So yeah, I'm not concerned about it. They can make it a thing. I heard, some people mad about it. I don't really give a hell. Shit. Your corner should have did their job. If you feel like something was wrong with his hand wraps. Uh, what else do we got? But yeah, I mean, but you don't forget, Bud can get old overnight. Yep, Bud can get old overnight. So we can't forget that. Bud can legitimately. So much shit going on down here. Yeah, Bud can get old overnight. So let's not act like that can't happen. So, but yeah, something to be said. It is kind of when that power started to go. When that power started to go, it's over with. When that power gone, that means you're really on that decline. So if Terrence don't get him, Sheeraz might hit a lick. But that's who he's supposed to be fighting next after Crawford. Sheeraz might hit a lick. So thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. Hit the link in the description. You can follow me on X, Cash App, Venmo, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.